Hi, it's Lee from ColouringQueen.net, and today I want to show you the art liners from Spectrum Noir. Now, they're in a plastic case, so it is reflecting a little bit, so it's just plastic. And what these are very fine liners. So they're great for detailed work, and they're great for brush lettering, if you want to do journaling or things like that, or if you want to add really fine details to your work. So they come in a set of 8 primary colours, and there's some secondary colours there as well. These come in with a brush tip, but there is also a fine tip as well for these coloured ones. And then they have the series of different colours of black in 2 widths. So we'll see the nib when I pull them out and you'll see what I mean. So they're the black ones with 2 different nib sizes. And then these are the neutral ones, which are sort of like a brownie colour, and again in 2 different sizes. So let's pull them out so that you can see how fine these are. I was playing around with these last night with the Spectrum Noir colouring pad. Now the pad is designed for coloured pencils, the one that I have. They do have one for markers, but I like to live life dangerously, so I used the markers on it with no problems at all and with no bleed through at all. But that was on the Spectrum Noir colouring pad with the foil highlights, so it is shining a bit. So we'll give that butterfly a little bit of a finishing coat in a minute. I use the fine liners from this packet. Now these are made from a Japanese ink, which is smudge proof. So we can see that one's the purple. So we've got our purple colour there, and we can see it's got the purple on the end, and you'll see how small this tip is. Look at that brush. So this is a brush tip, so it's great for those super fine details, all those fiddly bits, and great if you want to do lettering. So let's have a look at it on our butterfly. So say we just want to colour in one of these little dots. The great thing about these foil pads is that they resist the alcohol ink, so even though I'm going out of the lines and whatnot because I don't have my glasses on, it doesn't show up on the foil, it resists over it. So you can see these tiny little areas, and this little brush tip here, it's just colouring them in. So that's the purple, and a super fine brush there, and great for lettering. So then we have green, and the BR at the end indicates that it's from the Bright series in this art liner. And again, check out that tiny little brush, and it's that lovely dark green. And see how I can just wipe that off when it goes over the foil. It's great. And it doesn't show through at all onto the other side. So they're alcohol based, but it's probably because of the paper on this particular colouring pad from Spectrum Noir that it doesn't bleed through. But this is the paper designed for coloured pencils, not actually designed for markers, but it's not bleeding through on it either. So it's super good if you want to put in just like some fine details onto something. So if you had something really fine, you just wanted to add little itty bitty details, or if you wanted to trace around something, or for adding your name. It's also smudge proof as well. So that's the green. So far we've done the green and the purple, and this one's the blue, so you can see that colour there. And see how you can get different widths on your stroke just because it's got that brush tip. So with brush tips you can come along fine and then sort of thicken it up as you come along, which makes it perfect for lettering. And here we've got our darker blue, our yellow. We might put some of that yellow onto our little butterfly. I was colouring up last night, and remember I'm working without my glasses on, so I will go out of the lines. So very easy just to add colour. And then we've got our red, and we've got our pink, Then we've got last out of, and there's only 8 in the set. This is the brush tip set, but there's also a microfine one. And this is our orange. I love how this foil resists me just going over it. So it doesn't, even though it goes onto the foil, I can just dab it off with my finger. And that's what the orange looks like just on cheap copy paper. So we've got all of those 8 lovely bright ones with the brush tip end. Then we've got these neutrals, which are in 2 different sizes. They come in a small 03 size and an 05 size. So let's just check out what the brown one looks like. And it's got the brush nib on there. Then we go with the 03 for this one. And can you see how fine this point is? This is a micro point, so it's tiny, so excellent for those fiddly bits. And so this is like a little grey. So if we had something super tiny to colour in over here, this would be great for adding little shades and details, just little shadows on things. So we've just put that one over there, and it's very fine. Very fine and a lovely light grey. So that's the 03 size. Then at the 05 size for that grey, we're even tinier. The nib on this is just ridiculously tiny. It's like a speck of dust. It is just that small. So it's unbelievably small. Now this would be good if you wanted to put like little dots, like for accents and stuff. So you know how you can sometimes do that for like a Posca pen or something like that. If you just want to put little dots around things, they're just really super fine. So that one's a great one for super fine details, the 05. And also if you wanted to put like little shadows into things, little highlights, like if you just wanted to do little tiny shadows there, that foil really reflects, so I just hold it up like that. Then we've got the 005 from the browner one, and the 05 is the smallest one, so it's like a speck. It's absolutely tiny, so really great for all of those lovely little fine details that you might want to add. So say I want to put some tiny, tiny little specks of in here. If you're an artist, these are great for artists as well, or if you want to trace around things. So can you see those tiny, tiny little dots there? They're minute. Then we've got the 03 in the grey, which is very, very tiny. Very, very small. And you wouldn't use it for large areas like that. You could use it for fine detail because that's just such a small nib. And then we've got the 03 in the brown, which is a little bit bigger nib. Still very tiny. So see it up against the brush nib. So very, very small. And again, those small ones you just want for little dots or maybe little shading. So super fine details there. So let's have a look at the black ones. The black's always great if you are an artist or you like to do sketching or detail. So we can see we've got the same system again. We've got 01, 05, 03 nibs and a brush nib, an 08 and a 005. So we can see that that's going to be super fine. So let's start off with our brush nib, and again, really small brush. So that's our black. Then this is our 01, our 08, and that's a bigger nib, so it's a lot thicker. Then we've got our 05, so it's not as big as the 08 nib, slightly smaller. Then we've got our 005, so that's tiny. So we'll try and squeeze him over here. very, very fine. Then finally we've got our 03. So it's in between the nib size of the 01 and the 05. So actually I really like that 03 and 05. So I feel very comfortable. So this would be great again for our little dots if we did any sketching. These are great for lettering, and lettering is not just a matter of sort of writing like you normally do. You actually have to learn some techniques, because it's like drawing letters is the way they describe it on this DVD that Spectrum Noir produce on lettering. So it's hand lettering with the art liners, and you can see them there with the micro nib and the brush nib, which are great for hand lettering. This DVD is just short on an hour long. I went through it today and learned all of these techniques. I still need to practice quite a bit, because it's all about practicing. It tells you about strokes and the upstroke and the downstroke and making loops and whatnot. And like anything, you do have to practice. I haven't practiced enough, but hopefully, you know, one day I'll be able to letter like this, and that will be a good day. Now in the video, they do show you how to do this so that you can do it with these Artliner markers, but they also have a stamp that you can trace around so that you can practice what it actually is meant to look like, so it comes into your memory. Now that stamp is not included, or those stamps aren't included with this DVD, so if you did want to sort of trace over things and learn by practicing that one, you would have to buy that separately. But you don't need it. It would just be easier to learn how to hand letter that way. But if you follow what they're doing on the DVD, I don't have the stamp, so that's what I did, and I followed along on what they did on the DVD, and it's just a matter of practice, 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 like all of things. So these art liners are fabulous for hand lettering, and they're also fabulous for fiddly bits or little small spaces, sketches, outlines, adding some points or detail to your colouring pages, so all of those sorts of things. So the folk at Spectrum Noir have donated for a giveaway a copy of this DVD so that you can learn how to do hand lettering and do all of this sort of cool stuff in your journals or on your colouring pages that you might have seen. And they've also donated a packet of the black liners, just as you see here. These ones, the neutral ones, the bright ones, and in the brush stroke, and also in the fine nib as well. So I don't have the fine nib, but the prize includes the fine nib as well as the brush one. So they've donated all of that for one lucky person, and that's worth over 120 Australian dollars, so it's actually quite an expensive prize, an expensive giveaway, so it's super kind of them to donate it. And all you need to do to be in the running is download my lovely little colouring page here and colour it in, fill it in, and just follow the rules below this video to enter. So until next time, happy colouring.